asleep under the table and I rolled the chair onto him. You're okay. You just go back to sleep.
We're live.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey,
Corey
Jade.
and
Amanda
from
Rockpile Off-Grid Homestead.
you probably forgot what we looked like.
We're still here, still alive.
We're going
And
well.
we missed you.
So, how have you been?
Yeah, been good. How have you been?
Been well. Been keeping busy, surprisingly.
We should maybe probably account for or explain like why we haven't been around as much.
Oh, why have we?
Well, I mean, there's not like a dramatic reason.
Because I have nothing to do with the video editing.
One of the main reasons is my limited time for editing, because editing one of our videos takes it takes pretty much one of my full days.
Yeah.
And
a lot of hours there.
And there's two things that have happened. One, I have picked up a permanent part-time position with an awesome company in Sydney, and I work from home, which is great. So I do that in addition to my own business. I'm a writer, in case we've never mentioned that before. And that has taken up a lot of my extra time, because obviously, I'm getting paid by someone else to that thunk with the dog's head as he laid down.
Yeah.
So that's taken up extra time. And also we have the Australian Homesteaders group and podcast, which is a video podcast.
And that is taking up all of your other time. That has taken up a lot of time as well, because I interview people and then I process that video and pop that on the Australian Homesteaders channel. So yeah, all that together. And even just running that homestead page, it takes many hours.
Time.
So
hey, Destiny Ridge Homestead, thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
We're just here
chilling
to ourselves for a bit.
Well,
Till people rock up.
I can't really move my chair forward. I'm sitting sort of back from the table because
It's a dog.
Got a dog right here under me. So don't mind me if I look like I'm a bit back.
So we're still doing stuff.
Yes.
Sorry we haven't kept everybody updated. I do have a little backlog of videos, and then we might have to do some sort of catch up, just to get you guys up to where get you guys caught up to where we're at. I'm wondering if instead of doing some of the
from Tassie. All the way from Tassie.
Hi. Instead of doing some of the more detailed project videos at the moment, which tend to be a lot more editing heavy, maybe you can do a few vlog style, walk and talk things, just to keep you guys in touch. While I kind of get my head around
a bit of interaction
my new job.
Because I kind of float around and I just do bits over there and here, and I'm doing bits and pieces
I just give him the camera. I just say, please go film stuff. But then it takes me hours to put it all together. But that's fine. If you're here with us, say hi. I can see there's 4 people watching. So thank you for joining us. Okay, so what's been happening is lots of different stuff around the homestead. Last you guys were aware, we've got the pigs, still got the pigs.
Yes. They haven't been converted yet to bacon.
No, they have not been converted yet, and they're going really well. I'm like, pigs are great.
Yeah, I would do pigs again. Yeah. They're no trouble, and they've got so much character. They're when I go down and feed them in the morning, and they're oh, he's coming, and they're run around, have little manies and zoomies.
Yes, little pig zoomies.
They've got a nice little wallow, which we've got the firefighting trailer down there, and we'll give them some water in the wallow, and they love getting hosed off with the hose, and because one of them's like a white. We've got white pig and brown pig. Yeah, they do. Right, nice. But they both look like brown pigs when they come out of the mud, and they're just filthy, and then they get a hose off and good scratch. Yeah.
Oh, Shane, we've got your question right here. We're going to answer that. So we'll start with yours then. So what we might do is I've got some questions that I've kind of been answering in the comments, but I just want to revisit some of the most recent ones over the past few weeks and just make sure we answer them fully, because sometimes in the comments you can't always get into the nitty gritty.
And I have trouble writing comments to try and explain stuff when I can just say it I could probably just say it so much quicker. It'll take me a week to write a comment. because I'm not a writer.
Okay, so Shane Darcy wants to know, what's the R value of the SIPS panels, please?
Oh, no idea. Okay, so they are a very good R value. The different thickness panels have a different value rating. So we have two different thicknesses. Our floor and our roof is the thicker option, which is 175 mil. So that's 150 mil of foam with the 12 mil or 12.5 mil of the OSB ply, and that is R4.4 value. The wall panels that we chose were the 145 mil panel, and they have an R value of, I just had it, 2.9, I think they are. And now everything's wrapped in like a vapor barrier, moisture barrier wrap, which has a rating of about 0.7 to 0.8. So, and then you've got a 35 mil air gap between the SIPS panel and the ColourBond cladding, because we have a 70 by 35 timber that's screwed on 10 mil packers to the SIPS panel, and that creates like an air void gap. I don't know what rating that would offer, but between the ColourBond, the air gap, the vapor barrier, and the panel, it all adds up. So even though the panel is...
And then whatever internal lining you choose to do, then adds with that. So obviously you can put like ferro channel battens on the inside, put insulation into them, then gyprock clad that. We've got some walls that are clad, some that we've left OSB. So just because we actually like the look of it.
And every building product has an R value. But as for the panels, the roof and the floor, 4.4 because they're 175 mil thick, and the walls are, I say 2.9.
2.9 plus the 0.7 or something of the vapor barrier thing.
And the wrap is on the walls and the roof, and we don't have any wrap on the floor. We've just sealed the bottom of the panels with that outdoor weather shield paint underneath, just to help protect it.
And then we've got the hybrid vinyl flooring on top of that, which has
I looked at. I think they come out at 0.8.
That's got its own
of an R value, because I just had a look on a chart that gave a whole list of random R values for all building products. So
hey Chris.
So hello. So I hope that answered your question, Shane.
And the R value is one of the reasons why we went with SIPS panels when we were originally looking at doing it for the floor, is trying to get that insulation value for the floor. And so cold and moisture didn't seep up, but we still wanted to be vermin proof and insulated and like bushfire safe. And so there was all these different elements that we wanted. And the SIPS panel.
And the other thing is, wherever the SIPS join, all the gaps are filled with expander foam. So it's basically a sealed box, you could call it. There's no like gaps or anything. Everything is filled with either panel or expander foam or timber, as in like an LVL beam to join the panels either side, and then we would spray that with foam as well, and then join them together so every gap is filled. And then
to help that kind of insulation value along, and to make this quite a solar passive design, we went with double glazed windows. They're tinted. And that helped us hit our energy efficiency rating in accordance to what the engineer specifications were and that sort of thing. And we've been really happy with this combination. We've had mornings that are -2 outside and it's 12 degrees inside, and that's just I think we might have even talked about this.
And that's just from
retained heat.
Retained heat from the afternoon before.
So so if you've got any more questions about that, feel free to drop them.
And we have done the calculated eave overhang on the house. So in peak winter, the sun comes nearly 4 meters into the house, and then in 3.6 meters, because it was marked on the floor in texture.
Marked every month for a year.
Right. And then in summer, the shade is actually, I think it's only about that far outside the the house, so it doesn't actually even touch the windows in like the midday sun.
Yeah, actually, we've recently like collated all together all our costings for what it took to go from bare ground to like a sealed box. If you guys might be interested in us like talking you through all that on this channel, then we'd be happy to do that as well, because we've got all those numbers for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Crazy Dave. Definitely. Hey guys.
Crazy
Dave.
Hey
Dave.
Hey. Is that like a hey charger sign? Because I used to have a charger, like a Valiant charger, and used to cruise down the road and everyone would go, hey.
I think there was another panels question.
Oh, okay.
While we're talking about it, I think it's got to do with
oh, the nail gun, screw gun thing.
Yeah. Oh, where was it? Yeah. What did we putting up the walls? What did we screw the walls together?
I just use a Hilti collated screw gun, which is basically a drywall gyprock screw gun with a collated nozzle. So it takes like a belt of screws, and every time you push it, it just automatically feeds a screw and screws in. And
that was Dave's. Dave just joined us. That was one of Dave's questions.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
and I managed to get some 45 mil, 55 mil, maybe. I forget now. It was a while ago. Chipboard screws for the strip in the gun, and it was pretty much maximum oomph on the gun, but the Hilti, like 22 volt Hilti, is definitely got some some bits. So that was our main tool that screwed it together. It was. I may have used the odd prop, like just a bit of timber prop with a gas nail gun, and just quickly nailed it to the floor and nailed it to the wall, just if I had an awkward panel and I just wanted to quickly hold it so I could put the level and stuff on it. But screw gun all the way.
And Dave also asked about if the panels can get wet, so they can actually handle a fair bit of
surprisingly
rain.
They can handle a fair bit of moisture.
We were worried about that once we got them up and before we had like wrapped stuff, but it was no problem. They
could probably handle more moisture than we were willing to let it.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, we've never worked with timber before in something like this, and we were just like paranoid. Oh my God, it's raining.
Yeah, our last house was steel frame. We did like a concrete slab, steel frame, gyprock internal, hardy plank external, Colorbond roof.
Yeah.
So that was but we didn't want the timber. We didn't want to push it to its limits in case it got to that point that mold had set in. And
we did have a few big downpours when we were doing the floor, putting the floor panels down, and basically what we did is we propped the floor panels up so they're on a slight angle, so the rain would run off. And that was, I think, after they were painted. So we had that because you'll see them. I had them upside down so I could walk on them, and I was painting them.
Yeah.
And then we flipped them over when we installed them. But
yeah.
And I think we even had some big tarps at one stage.
We did. Yeah. Okay. Still on the house stuff. Fox Wren wanted to know what's the stump spacing for the steel frame subfloor.
Okay, the steel frame, I just do the quick calculation on my trusty notepad here. Technically, it was going to be 2 meters by 3 meters, but because we put the stumps at 5.8 meters apart by 17 meters 800 apart the other way, it works out to be 1970 running the short ways. 1970 apart, going the length of the 18 meter build, and then there's 3 stumps and they are 2.9 meters apart. So 2.9 by 1970 millimeters, 1.97. I actually can't work in centimeters. It's too hard.
So Mark Sterling wants to know, how did we find the SIPS build overall? Well, I'll tell you.
I would build it in a heartbeat again.
Yeah.
But I would do the exact same thing. I would buy full length, like full cut panels, like off the shelf size panels, and cut everything on site myself. You can buy like pre-cut panels where you give them the house plan and they will pre-cut your windows, your doors, all your openings, and they label each panel, and it just goes together like A to A, B to B.
Yeah, you've just got a jigsaw puzzle kit that you.
But we just did a few little changes, like, I just don't want that window, I want to move that window 100 mil or whatever type thing. So having full panels on site and cutting them yourself, you can make those little bits and pieces.
And cutting them, we like the additional cost of getting them cut was almost double.
Yeah, it
was almost double,
grand or something.
And it would have been another 3-month wait to get the panels. And we're like, surely it can't be that hard to cut it ourselves, because we were just like, this is a new material. Do we want to go through that learning curve? And then once we had a look at it, we're like, actually not that difficult. Just got to cut the timber. And then we got this special little tool that burnt out the polystyrene inside to get the recess. So we put the LVLs in.
Yep.
And that was it. I mean, if you know how to measure and cut stuff, then, and you've got the tools, it was.
So the little hot knife thing, it comes with some different blades that you can bend to suit the width of your panels. So we had one blade bent for the 175 mil panels and one blade bent for the wall panels, and also a straight blade as well. And it only draws like 150 watts, and it takes
that was good for us.
20 seconds to heat up once you pull the trigger. That was all just done off the solar system, and it just melts the foam, just a nice steady pace, and cuts the foam out to recess the Well, it was great. You couldn't do it without that, and that tool was only $250, I think, or something. Yeah. So,
and Mark, the speed at which the house went up was ridiculous. And if you've watched the videos and you saw that Corey did most of it himself. Which wasn't the original intention, but that's just how it worked out, because it only took him a couple of days, and I was busy those couple of days, and he was just going to get up the panels he could, and then I was going to come out when I was available, and we're going to do the rest.
Yeah.
And then, you saw he just went bang, bang, bang. I think he only needed my help to get in that 6-meter panel with the help of the excavator. And it was
that was a good fit, wasn't it?
That was a good fit.
As for the panels, because our roof is a skillion roof, obviously, the 2.4 metre panels on the short wall, 3.3 metre panels on the tall wall.
And they're standard sizes, which is one of the keys as well.
2.4 panels and carrying them and installing them, pretty much do that all day at a steady pace. The 3.3 panels were kind of getting a little bit awkward for me, just in length and height, and standing them up, and you're working on the edge of the house, and if it slips, it's going to fall, like, say, 2 meters at the high end of the floor. And so
that went, but nothing like that happened at all.
No,
it all went so well.
Because you put the floor timber down, and the panels sit like over the floor timber, and that basically locks it in. So
once you got some start
with the corner, level both ways, you're away.
Yeah. And all of us are built like a Greek. God, do not say that to him, please. Come on.
I find things heavy, I do.
Well, I tell you what, when I was editing that video, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. And I was like a little bit impressed, but
But that was like our other house, the steel frames rocked up on a Friday afternoon, and we had our son, I had my son set.
Oh yeah, I was at work.
He was probably 5, maybe.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Right? And the steel frames were 7.2 metre long sections by 3.3 metre high or whatever.
Yeah, by the time I got home from work, you and Seth had got it. And so cute. Seth was Corey was holding one end, and Seth was carrying the other on his skateboard. Yeah, and between the two of them, a 6-year-old and Corey, they got all the wall frames up. So it's the second time I've missed building the walls, and in the house. It's always like I planned it. I haven't planned it like that. Shane wants to know how the solar system's been going. Zero issues. We haven't needed to upgrade anything.
No.
We'd like to one day, but we don't need to. So not at this stage.
Actually, there was that one little issue, which was quite some time ago now.
Oh, yeah.
It blew a fuse. So the fuse between the MPPT and the batteries, right? It only had a 50 amp fuse in it, which was partly my mistake because I didn't check what the MPPT output charge was. And it turned out it was at about 65 amps or something. So the fuse only lasted so long. So I've changed the fuse.
Right, so that was that was an install error.
Yeah.
So
one job. But apart from that, look, that solar system all up cost us just over 12 grand.
Yeah.
And we're are we coming into our 4th year now?
We installed it in 2020.
In
so
2020?
just over 3 years.
Yep. Can't go wrong. It's very simple, basic.
Run down the solar system size for Mark.
We've got 16 panels. They're 330 watts each. So 16, quick calculator, 16 times 330. We have a 48 volt battery bank, which is 28.8 kilowatts at 600 amp hours. 5,280 watts of solar. We have a 5,000 watt Quattro inverter and I think it's a 150/100 MPPT charge controller.
I have it written down, but it's on my phone, and my phone is.
They are just solar lead acid batteries. So even though they're 28.8 kilowatt of storage, you don't have 28.8 of the usage. You probably have. Could just say call it half of that.
Yeah.
Because they're lead acid. If they were lithium, it would probably be different. You'd have more.
Yeah. Yeah, Jenny for welding.
Yeah, generator for welding.
Yep.
Now when we built this place, we had a budget for everything. So the generator is on the smaller side. It's only a 9 kVA. The welder does struggle. It'll run the TIG, no problem. I can weld Ali with the TIG up to about 180 amps on the TIG for aluminium. That seems to go all right. But on the welder, on the MIG side, if I go up to about 20 volts, it'll trip the Jenny out. So wish list, bigger generator, because I seriously miss burning some holes through some steel plate just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, when we were moving out here, it was a little bit like, okay, what's our minimum requirements just to get us here living? We knew we needed a functional shed.
Yeah.
And that was where we ended up thinking, well, we can expand on the generator later.
Yeah. The Jenny it's a DeWalt generator from Total Tools. I think it's rated at like 8.9 kVA. I think it's called an 8900i. It was price-wise, I think it was only about $2,600 back then, I think, which was pretty good. So it's petrol. The generator is petrol. It does chew a bit of petrol, but I only have it on when I'm welding stuff. And honestly, I'm not welding all day, so I'm pretty much over it by then. But yeah, just crank it up when I need to weld, and I organise it so I'll have whatever I'm welding, like a section sort of pre-cut and stuff, and then I'll kind of weld a bit, and then I'll turn it off, and I'll use the cordless tools or the grinder or whatever, and get prepped for the next welding session.
Mark has also asked about our electricals run through the house now, whether they are like through the panels or surface mounted. Now, internally, our walls are steel frame stud and gyprock. So that's quite easy. The back rooms where we have the switchboard, and they have got drop ceilings.
What are you doing? Okay.
They've got drop ceilings.
Got a cat tail. You can't see it.
She's caught on the fly screen.
Your cat is so dumb.
Yeah, so they've got drop ceilings. So with Those, they're not in the SIPS panels, they're in walls, right? And then we don't have, so basically we've pushed everything out from there. So everything is like in a ceiling or in a wall. Apart from...
Even when we do the lights, I haven't run all the lights yet. We're just going to have conduit, because our ceiling is painted black, believe it or not. Black ceiling and black walls on
some of the walls.
Some of the walls are black. Anyway, so we're just going to have a bit of conduit, 20mm conduit, and we'll paint that black. And you'll see it if you look at it, but it won't catch your eye. My original plan, which someone didn't quite go for, was to paint all the conduit in copper colour. But I couldn't find a decent spray paint that looked like copper, and I didn't want to use copper tube because I wanted to keep it. I wanted to use plastic just for electrical reasons.
And because we're not like billionaires,
right? So, but so now it's just gone back to black conduit.
So that was no. We didn't put power. We didn't run the electrical or any of the services actually through the panels. We did it within the cladding, like internally or externally. So
he's got a Mark's just put a black ceiling. I can tell you what, when it was just the SIPS panel, like plywood colour, right? It was like this place was glowing on the inside, and as soon as we painted it black, it just disappeared.
It's because on our northern wall we've got like all of our windows, right? Because solar passive. And we wanted to, and we painted that wall black, and the walls just disappeared, and suddenly the windows became like picture frames. Like that's all you could see. And Corey was like, it looks so good. Like the walls just disappear. What would happen if we painted the roof black? So we tried it, and it was awesome. We were originally going to like keep the rake ceiling, do a gyprock ceiling, and do like faux timber beams coming down, which I think would still look awesome. But we're really happy with the black ceiling, and it's it's like.
But because we don't want to touch gyprock ever again.
Okay, so I think we got still another question on the house is in regards to the reveals. Just a question regarding the window flashing. You said that your wall thickness is about 145mm, so that's the thickness of the panels, and your flashing is 100mm. With your windows being installed from the inside, does that mean you have much of a window sill inside?
Right. So panels are 145. Then we have a 10mm packer that keeps our 35mm timber off the outside of our SIPS panel. Then we have our colour bond. So, and then on the inside of our lower main wall, we have furring channel, which is 28mm, and that hides our services that run along the back wall of the house. Our window reveals are quite small, but that's just how we've chosen to do it. If you wanted to do a bigger reveal, you could always offset the window frame more towards the outside of the house, or you could do a timber shelf window reveal up to whatever you want, 100, 120mm wide, that kind of sticks out and would extend past the opening and kind of like curve back into the wall with like a little bit of that curved scotia thing underneath to give you like a sill.
Like a sill?
Yeah.
But we wanted the deeper inset on the outside just to give that feeling of like thicker, chunkier walls.
Yeah.
With a cleaner line inside.
Again, just personal preference of which way you want it to go.
And I'm not a big fan of like sills and edges and ridges that can catch dust inside, because if it catches dust inside, that's just stuff to clean. So
and we know you don't clean.
Neither of us are
too busy writing.
Big cleaning fans. So we got better things to do.
All right,
cool.
Enough of the cleaning. What else we got?
We're doing it. How's the heating and cooling with the SIPS?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It is no problems at all. We don't actually have a
heater.
We have a little 2.5 kilowatt split system in our bedroom. just so we can keep at least one room like aircon. Say in summer when it's hot, we have trouble. I have trouble sleeping when it's hot, so I like to be like an Eskimo, nice and cold. But we don't have like a wood fire or anything.
But I want one.
Yeah, she wants
even just
one.
for like the ambience. No, see, every time I've asked for one or like proposed one, Corey's like, well, how often would we actually need it? Right? I'm like,
I try and come up with all these excuses.
Well, I'm going to find out. So this year, every time that like one of us mentioned like, oh, wouldn't a fire be nice? Or today would be a good day for a fire. I put it in my phone.
Tell you what, I learned quick to zip it.
I'm like, so I think we pretty much justified.
What are we up to? Like twice so far?
More than twice. But I mean, it started back in May. Our first, like the 6th of May was the first time that one of us mentioned that it'd be nice to have a fire.
I'll get you a tea light candle.
So yeah, I think we've justified the case for the established a good case for the wood fire. So maybe next year, and we are adding an additional air conditioning unit this year.
Picked that up the other week. Got a 5 kilowatt. We chose the 5. It comes in 3.5, 5, or 7. We went with the 5. Solar only split system air conditioner. It requires up to 2,500 watts of solar, and has a running voltage of between 80 and maximum 380 volts. So you wire all your panels in on the spot here, whichever way to give you more volts, if you know what I mean. So standard house panel, call it anywhere from 35 to 45 volts. So you put 2 together, there's 70 volts. You put 10 together, you get the volts. But that runs off no batteries, no solar, no mains input, just the solar.
So that will be independent of our solar system. So it won't add to the power draw, the overall power.
It does have a option to wire it into your mains power if you want to run it off mains as well. And just a quick summary is if there's mains power available, it'll run. But as soon as the solar, this is the sun here, as soon as the solar starts coming on, it'll use the solar energy mostly, and it will back off the mains power input. So
we always wanted to try out that product. So.
And that was $2,800 just for the indoor and outdoor unit. And then we need to buy the panels and
the railing, the mounting system for
because our roof is on a skillion and it's facing the opposite way. We'll need to put the panels up on a bit of an angle.
Yeah, that will be a project. All right, cool, awesome. Crazy Dave wants to know how are we going to clean out the gutter to come?
Wow!
Because it's just got the little gap.
Well,
and Dave has said he's had issues in the past cleaning out people's gutters that are like getting cuts and stuff because it's too little.
Well, the gap is probably around 100 mil between where the roof sheet finishes. It looks a bit odd on the camera and deceiving, but it's about that much, the gap. And our gutter, because I custom made the gutter
after getting up flashing, to like take a picture of it and make that measurement.
Selves.
I thought it was littler than. I thought it was littler than 100 mil.
No, it's about that. Sure it is. Maybe I'm lying, Dave. I don't know. One of us will measure it soon. But cleaning it out. I'm confident I'll be able to get my hand in there, or if not, one of those like little gutter dustpans you call it. They're only like narrow, but they're kind of long and skinny. And our downpipe system will have like a first flush diverter thing. So
we didn't really have much of an issue.
If all else fails, I just get up there with the fire hose and I'll squirt the crap out downpipe, and it can just
go out the first flush system
out into the bag.
We haven't had much issues with our gutters in the past. I think it's here at the moment we don't have any overhanging trees or anything, so that's obviously not an issue. If we did guard
without skinning my knuckles, What if I get my knuckles in first?
Destiny, thinking of using gutter guard. Okay, yeah. On our last house, we used gutter guard because we had overhanging gum trees, and it's a lifesaver. Definitely. If you've got overhanging any sort of vegetation, gutter guard is so much worth it because it just otherwise your filter system in your tank is going to have to deal with that. Your guttering system and your piping system is going to have to deal with that. You're going to have enough pressure if it gets in there for the first flush system to flush all that crap out. You're better off like stopping the big stuff from falling in the first place. So
a lot of people, like we have a first flush system on our other house. We haven't actually installed it on this house yet, but we ran all our downpipes out of 100 mil sewer, like 100 mil PVC, and our first flush system. Your first flush thing should always be at the lowest point, and we just had basically a pipe coming out that had a 100 mil screw cap, and that would be what drains the entire system. Because a lot of people go, "Oh, I'm not drinking rainwater because it's got whatever
bird shit
and frog shit and stuff in it."
Yep.
But the problem is people that don't clean their gutters, right, and have build-up of leaf matter in that bit of downpipe that heads into the tank, that's when the problems start, because that leaf matter starts decomposing.
Yep.
And you have to clean it out like every year. So take the cap off. First couple of rains, everything washes out. Put the cap back on, fill up the tank.
Yeah.
We don't have water filter from we probably won't even run a water filter for our rainwater tank. We lived off rainwater tank for
without a filter. We've got an underbench filter just from Bunnings. We did talk about putting in a fancier water filter here, but whether or not it will happen,
we turned out all right.
Yeah,
there's nothing to
yeah.
Anyway,
we're fine.
Any more questions?
We're not going to know. Okay, I think that's
why
it for the house.
Cooper's green, because it's got no preservatives. It helps.
Okay, so Chris Porter wants to know about the leaky weir. We have had some questions about the leaky weir.
Oh, geez, tell you the water this year.
Okay, so we have got this time last year we were putting out videos of like dam overflowing and just we can walk our dams up to our ankles. There's no water in the dam. Yeah. There's been no water through the leaky weir and the Kangaroo Creek and the Beaver Dam and
nothing.
All that. There's just been nothing.
Dry, and it's starting to turn brown. It won't be long. Now this place goes from green to brown, probably in a matter of a fortnight.
We can probably do. We probably should do a whip around. So we got a comparison. If it was this time, I'll go and check this time, what a difference your rainfall can make year over year, and the importance of long-term planning, and with your water tanks as well. You might have an average rainfall you're hoping to capture in your water tanks for your family to use, but you might need to capture enough water that's going to last you 2 years. So that is something to consider as well, because sometimes rainfall is low. So so we do need to do an update on the leaky weir, and I think maybe I'll send you out the camera and you can do a water whip around.
Yep.
And thanks, Mark, for your questions.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining us.
And trying to keep plants.
I'm glad it's our fault. We love being a bad influence.
What do you say?
He's taken the plunge, going off grid.
Mate.
Keep us updated.
Yeah, you'll love it. Keeping trees and vegetables alive during summer, like our summers in Perth, they're hot, real hot, and all our trees need a lot of water. We probably go through, I think I worked it out before, 6,000 litres a week, maybe a little bit more of water a week just in watering trees and vegetables.
We did a whole video on it.
Which when you think about that, you're talking say one IBC container, which is say 1,000 litres a day, which doesn't go that far. By the time you got to water, 40 fruit trees, nearly 30 olive trees, the trees on the swale,
without water,
the freshly planted trees that we planted a couple of months earlier. Like 1,000 litres a day goes quick.
Okay, so right, we've been going for a while now, almost 40 minutes. So I might just go on to Running Muck Off Grid wants to know how the pigs are going on the grain. So what's the grain system we've got going on now? The fermented grain we've got our own little way of doing it, and it's working quite well.
Yes. Okay. So it started out soaking the grain in water. Had like a 2-day rotation, with different buckets and rotate. So 2 days in water, and then they get sort of fed and stuff. Then I thought I had this harebrained idea. Oh,
wait. At the very start, we tried 2 buckets.
Oh yeah.
And we put water grain and apple cider vinegar in one, and water grain and molasses in another.
Yep.
And the one with apple cider vinegar went mouldy.
Straight away. Next day. Mouldy.
Next day, yeah.
Couldn't figure that one out, so we didn't use apple cider vinegar again.
No.
Got a great big tub of it.
There's probably it's probably perfectly logical scientific explanation to that. But so the molasses, because the molasses, that would have to, if you're fermenting and you've got yeast, then the molasses would give them stuff to eat, whereas the vinegar might compete with
maybe
the yeast that are trying to ferment the grain. So anyway, they ended up maybe just having a little bit of a war, and they all died, and it went mouldy.
Yeah. So then I tried molasses. So I used molasses. Probably, we're talking say a 20-litre bucket. I'll probably put a good cup of molasses in, and then the grain, 3/4 water, 3/4 bucket of water, cup of molasses. Top it up with grain till the grain is level with the top. Give it a gentle stir. Put the lid on. Leave it for the 2 days, and then they get it fed to them. I did have an aquarium air bubbler in there at one stage to try and bubble it to see if that would make any difference. Couldn't really tell if it did anything at all. So the air bubbler now is currently doing some
a little compost tea type thing.
Little compost tea in the garden. So but we do supplement their food as well with vegetable scraps and whatever scraps we have. They love sourdough starter and sourdough discard stuff as a treat, and sourdough bread. God, they almost wrestle over that. And vegetable scraps from a local shop and stuff.
Anyway, so the fermented grain is
going well.
Now
that IBC that was full, we're probably a third through it now.
Yeah,
I reckon.
Awesome. So that's the piggies. The piggies are going well. We probably need some updated videos on those because they're getting so big.
Yes.
And what we're doing in regard to their bigger enclosure, which is also going to form part of our yards, once they're out of there, they'll be our yards that animals come in and out of. We're going to have a little shelter attached to that, which will have a milking station, just say, for example, if someone was planning to get milk cow.
Or a wood heater.
Or a wood heater. Well, how many days do I say, God, wouldn't it be good to have a milk cow today?
Yeah.
Yes, so that's in process as well. All the chickens are going good. I just bought another couple of chickens today. They're currently in their own little coop, isolated from our ladies and
they're the chickens that have got the little bob, the little mum bob hairdo. What are they called?
Well, so they're they're not Aracanas, but they are olive eggers, and the rooster that was put over the whatever the hens were was an Aracana.
Yeah.
So and they've got that little poofy. So they're pretty cute. So I'm looking forward to seeing what colour eggs they have once they start laying, because they're just pullers.
I just want to quickly answer this. Shane Darcy, did you end up dividing the laying boxes or still one large box?
One large box. You know why? Because they all lay in the same spot. Every single one of them. That I just in that corner.
One corner, that's it. End of story.
Like, what's the point?
Could have made the box only this big instead of that big.
Exactly. So we'll see how that goes. Someone is asking about the how is the rollaway working out?
Well, the rollaway works well.
Is it collecting? Is the carpet tile collecting any residue, chicken poo, broken eggs, that sort of thing?
So the rollaway works great when there's no like straw in it, but because we put like the strawy stuff in the under where they roost to catch the poo, and then we clean that out, it all just ends up in the bloody rollaway and it blocks the little rollaway. So they have
they like nesting.
Yeah, they like kind of nesting in the little strawy bit. So you'll see on the thing I do have like the little carpet tiles hanging down. So all I do is drop the door and just basically just push my hand in, lift the carpet tile, grab the eggs.
Yeah.
There's no.
So it's not currently rolling away, and it's not that much of an issue, only because they're just happy, like with their little hay nest. So
there's no broken eggs. They don't poo in there.
The carpet tiles have like remained in really good condition.
Yeah.
So it has been kind of zero issue. We do think we may be having problems with crows pinching eggs, so we might have to go, which is why we originally did the rollaway, right? So we might have to revisit that if that becomes a problem. But we find if we are able to like pop out to the coop a couple of times a day, then we get the eggs before the crows do.
Yeah.
And someone else asked, how many roosters do we have? We had 6. We now have 4.
2.
We now have 2.
Bruce and Red.
Yeah. So Bruce was like the big boy, and Red was just pretty and nice. So he got to hang around.
Roosters were just
roosters. We didn't need that many. So we processed those 4 roosters, and that was our first time processing chickens. That went like really smoothly.
Yep.
Our last short is a little pan around of our setup, and I was surprised at how easy it went. I thought the plucking would be the most difficult. That was the easiest. I thought the gutting would be the easiest, and that was the most difficult. Because I'm like, it's sticking in there,
like near the bum, and just pull it apart with your hand in. Very tough to pull apart. And
it was particularly.
I had trouble getting these hands.
We don't want to get like demonetized.
Sorry. Shane says shoot the crows. Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Yeah, I quite like the crow. I don't like them stealing our eggs, but I quite like crows. I know most people don't, but
neighbours probably won't like the. What are you doing with that 308? Oh, just shooting crows. Okay.
Maybe we can like hang an owl or a falcon or something in the tree. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, maybe
it seems to be only certain times a year. You want to buy another gun?
Maybe I need to write down how many times a year I'd use it.
Oh, maybe.
Just like a wood heater. Okay?
Maybe.
Let's start now. Today, I'll use it today. There's one.
That's fair. Yes, so that's the rooster situation. And and we're getting some more chickens to replace those spots on the roost.
Yep.
And I think that is the main questions that people have been asking us.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been a pretty good recap, I think.
Yeah.
So hopefully, even though we haven't been on the videos, like doing stuff, hopefully you guys have caught up with just sort of what's been happening around Rockpile. I don't know if you can see little Dozer Dog. I'll say hi. He's been in the videos, and he's been quite small in the videos, but now he's all grown up. He's a big boy now. Sleeps in his own bed as well, believe it or not.
Destiny Ridge Homestead asks if what's our internet? Have we got Starlink? No, we don't have Starlink. We just have Telstra mobile broadband.
Is it called a Nighthawk?
Nighthawk.
Yeah.
So we would consider Starlink, but I think that works out an extra $60 a month, and then you've got like the setup cost, and we just never got to the point where we needed that extra download reliability. We've got pretty good.
Yeah, like Amanda can be on a Zoom call. I can be watching a movie at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't like do gaming or anything.
We rarely max out, like maybe like maybe like once we've maxed out our allotment of stuff. So
so we're pretty happy with the
you can only get 3G. Yeah, I think if that was the issue for us, then I would definitely look at Starlink before I would look at any other provider, because the people I know that have had it, like Mel at Honeybee Farmstead, they had zero reception where they were at their homestead, and they installed Starlink, and it's like a game changer, especially when you're like uploading YouTube videos and watching a lot of YouTube, and then I work from home and have meetings and stuff with people, all over the world. So I need reliable internet, because cool.
Definitely.
All right.
Oh, sorry, that's twice I would have used the shotgun.
Just in this call.
That's how many times you want the wood heater. You're up to twice in a whole year. I'm up to twice in like 10 minutes.
What shotgun do you want?
Oh, probably just like an Adler pistol grip, 7-shot. That would do.
Okay.
$900, I think. Black one.
He's got it all planned out.
410. No, 410 for 12 gauge. 12 gauge. Yeah. And some clay pigeons. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. So I think we'll wrap up now.
Yes.
It's great having a chat with all you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll definitely make more of an effort to be around more. Really appreciate you guys watching everything, and we'll catch you up.
Slug gun will do.
And we'll
go from
keep
there.
on keeping on. And if you if you're an Aussie, you're not already a member of the Australian Homesteaders Facebook group, head on over and join. Just make sure you answer all the questions.
All 4 of them.
Yeah, there's only like 4 questions. And then you'll see a lot more of not just what we're up to, but Homesteaders across Australia. It's great. It's a fantastic group. We just hit 7,500 members. So it's a really good bunch. So I'd love to see you over there as well as here. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great Sunday evening, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye. That was great.